I'm sorry.
Sorry, that was on me.
Hey, Coven, how was this guy? Bro, it's like
Can we do this? Isaac. All right, getting started. Week. It's not week 1 anymore. I think it's week 3 now. But
Week 2.
Week 2 now. But this week is now the SAEM grind. Let's get started. First off, with our selfies of the week. Beautiful faces, beautiful masked faces, and then a beautiful email that we received. Dear Esteban, Omid, and Brandon, and then finally Yoav.
I'm scared.
Do you want to send it? I'm scared of them. He has also texted, I'm fragile.
Nothing crazy in terms of updates in our spring quarter. Again, we're just going to be going through Dr. Matanis' lovely study to present today, as well as he has prepared a really lovely presentation on Europe for everyone. And so we're really looking forward to that. Next week, we're going to have an evening workshop. And then, yeah, you guys can just check out the rest of it. Big things to make note of, Mind Brain versus Butterfly will be on the 4/29. So for those that are going to be there and that have been part of the study, please make sure to be there. We have a talk with the medical student plan, as well as 4/22 is actually now, in fact, CPR workshop, thanks to Yoav and Luke. So quick little round of applause. I'm really appreciative of that. Dr. Ray will be coming in and she'll be giving us the whole thing. She'll actually even go somewhere with critical information regarding everything regarding what happens during a code. Yeah.
Just to clarify that, we're gonna do ACLS like crash course. So it's like one level above CPR. And we are not going to be able to issue any certifications. It's usually minimum of 8-hour course. Dr. Ray said that maybe in the future, so like over summer or fall, she'll be able to have, if formal class. But you do need like EMS experience, so that's a conversation that we will have later on for anyone that is not graduating.
Love it.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, that's basically it. Now we're very pleased to announce and to, introduce Dr. Matanis, who is going to be presenting the e-bike study. Peter, go.
Oh, okay. How you guys? It's like flat mic. Okay, cool. Let me know if you can't hear me. I just talk about Dr. Matonis, one of the ER attendings. We're really excited to get this study up and running. Confession, there are still a few moving pieces. Some of the details will probably change over the next few weeks. But I wanted you guys to at least know about it because I think we're going to start enrolling some people pretty soon. Does anybody have an e-bike or do you ride any bike around? Okay, well, up. Right. Have you seen people on e-bikes around?
Lots.
Yeah, we've been seeing more and more people coming in as traumas off their e-bikes, so we've been wanting to look into it a little bit. So as you guys probably know, e-bikes are becoming more and more popular. People like them, they're eco-friendly, they're convenient, cheaper than cars and motorcycles, so good around town. But they're kind of in an awkward space, so they're not really, motorcycles not really designed for the road. They're also not really safe on sidewalks, so it leaves the riders either putting pedestrians at risk or putting themselves at risk. And we don't have a lot of lanes and safety stuff. There's not a lot of regulations. And then we've been seeing the number of e-bikes rising quite a bit. There were like 400,000 on the road 5 years ago. And that more than doubled in 2 years. Part of that was the COVID rush. But we're seeing them still rise like 10% each year. So obviously when more and more people are on e-bikes on the road, more and more of them are getting in accidents and getting injured. And so are the rates of people being hospitalized and having severe injuries. And we're seeing this both in adults and in pediatric patients. So there's not a ton of literature out, and kind of the big question we'll get into, we're going to try to establish this a little bit better. There's a big question of, do e-bikes get more certain injuries? Do they get more severely injured? It seems like based on some early data, e-bikes are at higher risk of internal injuries, like organ injuries, or more severe injuries. The rates of extremity injuries, head injuries, like pretty similar. And there's even a small study out there that compared e-bikes to bicycles and motorcycles. And it seems like people are kind of falling more towards the motorcycle end of injuries. And you guys have been in our ER long enough to know the motorcycles don't crash. We know that men are particularly high risk in the pediatric population. Teenagers are at high risk. And then obviously, alcohol and drugs while on an e-bike and poorly if you're on anticoagulant or if you're going fast, you tend to get more injured. So a lot of the literature, if you do a literature search, a lot of it is coming out of Israel and China. There's only a few studies coming from the United States. None of them are coming from the West Coast. So we're trying to round out some of the available data and trying to build this, how frequent are injuries happening? What are they? And can we characterize people who are getting injured to better identify them? A lot of this enrolling is kind of an initial data collection. So we have a few questions we're exploring. So number one, what types of injuries are e-bike riders sustaining in our county and how severe are they? We want to characterize the demographic makeup and identify any risk factors of people who are crashing e-bikes. Who are they? Maybe why aren't they crashing? We're basically going to enroll anybody who's crashed an e-bike and comes to our emergency room. That's going to be available. They can be pediatrics, and adults, young, old. I think for now our survey has only been IRB approved in English, so unfortunately that's the kind of only limitation. So people have to be at least proficient enough in English to answer questions in our survey. And then some exclusions will be if people are coming in like too intoxicated,
they might need a few hours to come back to and be able to do the survey. And then obviously patients intubated, severe head injuries who can't participate. They will actually probably be enrolled like later when they get better. Not so much though from your guys' standpoint while they're coming in the year. And then patients who are like on psychiatric hold or to the state who aren't really able to speak for themselves will also be excluded. The survey is being updated in the next week or two with ideas. We kind of want to ask about what was going on around your fall. Were you how fast were you going? Were you hit by a car? Did you fall off? Did you hit a pedestrian? How much training have you had on your e-bike? How experienced do you think you are? Do you know the laws? Was there any like weather distractions, helmet use, what people think of helmet use, phone, alcohol, that good stuff. And then a few questions kind of exploring what patients think of e-bikes and how dangerous they might be. It's supposed to take them like 10 to 15 minutes to complete it. So from MRAP, we would be really excited if you guys could help us screen patients, help consent them and enroll them, and then administer the survey component of the study. Will be super helpful. It's often why we are running around in the ER. We don't have time to wait for people to fill out a survey on an iPad. We're gonna have scripts, consent forms, and all that good stuff ready for you guys. It should take the patients 10 to 15 minutes. We're gonna administer it and collect all the data through REDCap. I don't totally know how it works with you guys. My first study is to liaison, etc. I think I'd be a good candidate for that. I'd love a liaison. It'd be great. My goal is to start enrolling people May 1st. We're going to collect data for about a year. We'll see how long it goes. We're hoping to enroll like 50 to 100 patients. If we get decent enrollment in about a year, I'm hoping after May we'll be filing data, writing a manuscript, moving on to some other related projects. Right. That's all I got. If you guys have questions or want to know anything else about it.
All right, the study live currently, like if you have a shift after this, you start point or you're waiting for like sharing of the survey.
It's not quite live. We have IRB approval. We're just so Dr. Burris is one of the trauma surgery attendings who BC and I are working with closely. And so she and I need to kind of sit down and duke out any final edits to the survey. And I think we need to figure out how to use REDCap, get that set up. And there's a few other kind of small moving pieces. But I hope if she's out of town, I'm going to a conference, but we're hoping to sit down in the next week or two and get those last final details done.
So you said like any patients that come in like very critically injured would be enrolled later. Would that still be with MRAP? Because I know some of our studies we do go to other places, but it's very rare, honestly.
Yeah, so Dr. Burris and the trauma surgery team, they have like a whole research team. So my understanding is more likely when the patients are admitted on the trauma service, they will most likely end up administering those surveys. We're going to capture the kind of stable, awake, talking patients here. So a lot of people do go home, and then the trauma team's not going to have time to capture that data. So that's going to be our big target from the ER. The people who get seen maybe aren't severely injured and are going to go home. That way we don't call them. So one thing ER patients don't do is answer. But I need to get a hold of them a few days later. So yeah, that part you guys are going to be super helpful.
In the event that an e-bike comes in and there were two passengers involved, somebody who was actually commandeering the bike and then somebody sitting behind, do we interview both individuals who were involved in the accident or just the person who was driving?
Yeah, we're anybody who is on an e-bike, and we might even include if there's like pedestrians struck by e-bikes might even be enrolled in this. I kind of see that might be a biased group. So we have to figure out if they may be like a subgroup. But yeah, and part of the survey is going to ask were you a passenger or were you the driver? Thankfully, not a ton of people are piling onto them, but I do see some of the kids in the like old person. Irvine 225. As long as helmet on, like down Culver Main Road.
I know that this might not be directly related to the study, but in the future, would you be interested to see like any relationships between like the injuries that they did suffer with the factors that you're going over in the study?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, I don't know.
No, so this is, this initial survey, we're trying to, there's just not a lot of data, so we're trying to get a lot of just baseline data, over the next year, but super, I know you guys do, you're about to talk about your crop and stuff. So in the future, yeah, we're definitely interested. If you guys have ideas, you wanna explore other things, you are more than welcome to approach BC and I and figure out how to get some sub-projects or other things off of that.
Has there been any review of existing data within like the EHR system, like as a retrospective study, or is that kind of difficult? It's all just patient notes basically.
No, so part of this IRB was acquiring both retrospective data and starting prospective.
Got it.
You know, it's a good question. So we have some kind of preliminary stuff of huge spike in injuries over the last 3 years. We've had a few deaths, unfortunately. That's gonna be another prong of it. I think Dr. Burris already had like a research assistant in mind, but if I have openings or stuff, I'll reach out to you guys next if anybody's interested in that part of it too. The data's a disaster. I don't know how to get out of it. The trauma registry is.
Yeah.
It's very interesting because there's not like ICD codes totally set up for e-bike injuries, and we're notoriously bad at putting the correct ICD codes into capture the data retrospectively. So finding all the e-bike codes and inefficient.
Last question, guys.
Okay, cool. Thanks for listening. I'm excited for this. Determined.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. And then, yeah, I mean, obviously I'm working with the VC on it, but if you guys need anything, have questions or whatever your usual next steps, I'll just let me know.
Yeah, perfect. We'll send a follow-up to them. One or two.
Okay, so we can send that.
That's like one or two weeks on, so.
We also experience.
Yeah, I think usually two, like, it's just right. Usually we just start, it's just right, it's like a ton of stuff, like, just sort of red cap survey and stuff, so usually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, wait.
Yeah.
We ended up 7 months ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Love it.
I think within.
Yeah.
Hey, Joel.
Wait, I'm so sorry.
Oh, yeah.
I have a shift on Friday.
I wonder what that.
Yes, I'll do that. I'm sorry, I emptied out my backpack.
So really quickly, the coordinator applications for the next year are going to come out tonight at 5 p.m. It's scheduled sent. They're gonna be due on April 18th at midnight. This year, we don't just have like a general like liaison like paragraph, there are actual questions. So give yourself ample time to read through them and also like prepare for them. You guys have like 10 days for this, so just plan accordingly. And then also for the upcoming year, we are going to be using Slack. And we're going to try to transition to Slack for the rest of this year as well, so that all the newbies are on Slack as well. This way we can have like a newbies channel. We don't have to pester you guys. We can have an ultrasound channel. It'll be a lot more neat. So if you guys can all like have Slack downloaded right now, and scan that QR code if you have it on your phone, it'll take you straight to.
I'll let you join the established Slack.
Yes, and I'm also going to throw the link into the messenger. Join this Slack by Friday.
There's time.
Oh, sorry. Join the Slack by Friday. We won't be using the Slack after Friday.
Or the
You mean the
I mean, sorry, the messenger after Friday. So it's going to be Slack only. Okay.
Oh, wait, we'll do this after,
Yeah.
first, we'll take care of your, do the slides.
Yeah, just.
Awesome.
Okay, we're just gonna kind of breeze through the Europe stuff because we have a lot of like Western regional stuff to go over today. Hopefully you guys all registered yesterday. Did anyone not register?
Okay, I get it.
Okay, we'll figure it out. Okay, got it. So I'm just gonna go over the general timeline. Hope you guys got a chance to review this already. Basically, over the next couple of weeks, start working on your poster. I will give you guys some more resources to help you get started with that process. If you haven't already asked Dr. Sada to help you out with data analysis, I have a QR code you guys can scan it later. So basically, keep week 4 in mind as kind of that last time to submit your poster to your BI just for the final reviews, final touch-ups. Just because we need to give them ample time to actually look at it. We all know that our PIs aren't always the most on top of looking at emails, just given all the other commitments they have. So week 6, this is the deadline given to us by Europe. So Monday, May 5th, you have to have your presenter profile finished. So that includes your most updated abstract and then your picture and your title and everything. And that is also when you'll be submitting your final digital poster that will be on the Europe website. So this is why, so we have a little over a month to work on this, so it should be enough time for all of you guys. And then that same week, we'll have our mock poster session. So instead of doing like the 3 weeks of presentations like over and over again, we're just gonna do it all in one day. Just to give you guys a little more smooth of a practicing process and also to give the newbies a chance to learn about the projects. And then that is also around the time where you're gonna have to submit your final grant request because ImageWorks will be getting like hundreds and hundreds of requests that week because of Europe. So this just gives them enough time to make sure you get your poster. And then our actual symposium will be week 8. So you'll have like a week or 2 practice once you submit. Okay, so just out of curiosity, who has never done Europe before? Okay, so basically how the Europe symposium works, at least for the poster presentations, you basically have a poster behind you and it's paired with a pitch or kind of presentation that you're gonna kind of speak along with it. So the main components of this poster, obviously you have your title, you have a little background introduction section. You typically, if you will be including a method section, it's gonna be really concise, maybe a diagram. You don't want this to be taking up a lot of space. And then results and figures are kind of the most important part. So that'll be your tables, your graphs, your more diagrams. And then now this next part kind of depends on where you are in your project. So it could be kind of a discussion, conclusion, future directions, limitations. And if you're going to include references, just use a QR code. Don't try to like paste like font size to references at the bottom. That's a waste of space. So and then you can also add acknowledgements. So we usually acknowledge MRAP, UCI School of Medicine, whatever other programs you might be doing these projects in conjunction with. Yeah, so these are the primary aspects of the poster presentation. There is a Europe guide for all of this, which is like 80 pages long. I don't expect you to read all of it, but if you need more information, you can go through. The document I sent earlier during the weekend has like kind of links to the specific pages of the information if you need to look at it. Okay, so if you have not sent Dr. Sada a request, can you just please scan this QR code, kind of fill out what requests you have, and we're gonna send this whole document to him so he has enough time to kind of go through all the projects. I'll give you guys like 10 seconds to do that. And I'll send the link in the chat again later. Okay, so this is an example of a poster. This is one Akil and I did last year. As you can see, this is like the general layout. This is kind of what it looks like. You can also look in our MRAP handbook for past examples as well, especially for projects that have been ongoing. I'm not saying just copy and paste the past ones, but you can use it as like a foundation or a starting point. But yeah, so this is kind of the general poster. And again, in the document I sent, there is a link to templates, so you can find those there, so you don't have to build it from scratch. Okay, so printing specifications, we can go over this closer to Europe as well, but it's gonna be a 3x4 foot foam board that you can print through ImageWorks. Just make sure you follow all these specifications. Again, so we highly recommend you to just use ImageWorks because it's the most straightforward process in terms of paying for it. But the UPS store and the FedEx also give discounts if you guys want to go through that route instead. You might just have to pay for it yourself and then get a reimbursement. But regardless, these are all, the options are all gonna be around $100, so make sure you have that set aside budget. And okay, this is just like what that mock poster session will look like that I just mentioned. So we'll have 2 sessions, we'll split all the projects up into 2 groups. You guys will practice your pitch 3 times with a different group of audience members. They'll follow the official UROC rubric, so you kind of know what the people who are assessing will be looking for. If you guys are getting it judged. And then at the end, we'll kind of just go over general feedback and stuff. This meeting will probably run a little longer, so maybe like 4 to 5:30, 4 to 6-ish, so just keep that in mind. That was our compromise instead of doing like the 3-4 weeks of post experience. Yeah, and if you haven't filled this already, can you guys please just scan this and add what groups you're in, so then we can plan the session quickly. Do you guys have any questions? I know I kind of just like blew through that, but yeah.
Can you leave early on that day?
You can go in the first group. Yeah, honestly, at this point, like you guys have all written your proposal already, so most of the information that you'll need for the poster, you've already kind of had to start with, so you don't, again, hopefully you're not having to do most of this from scratch. And yeah, it should be a pretty straightforward process. Start working on it sooner rather than later, just so that it gives you time to make edits, send it to your PI, all those things. If you guys don't have any other questions, we will get to Western Regional stuff. So as you guys know, that is in fact this week. So just to preface, thank you guys for all the hard work you've been doing for that. It's been a little big. Okay.
Why don't we start with
Yeah, all right. So first off, just to raise my hand, who's gonna be going to Western Regional, just as like as a general member, as presenting, or just in general, is just interested, or is volunteering? Great, awesome. So everyone that has their hands raised, we'd love you guys sign up for some shifts. We saw that there's a good number of signups already, but then there's just a couple more we need just to fill in for like registration. We're even bumping it so that 1 sign up is 1 bank shift. And so if you look at the signups, that's like a 1-hour shift right there. So you get a bank for that. So we're willing to give that out if you guys are willing to sign up for that. So please sign up for those shifts because we need a little bit more support on the Western Regional front of things. So there's a sign up sheet. On top of that, go back to the next one. Second, we need brainstorm stuff. There's going to be a part where we are able to acknowledge all the hard work that Dr. BC has done, Salman has done for us. Dr. Salman, must tag one day. So really, we're just thinking what this thing should do for Dr. BC. Like, imagine he's like up on stage, and like, you know, it's like the crowd's roaring and stuff, and they're like, "What do we do?" Yeah, like a basket.
What do we put in the basket?
Do you know where to buy it? No, or like a basket, like I'll see a pre-made basket, it's like all pretty and stuff.
No, we should make it.
We can get stuff from the farmer's market on Saturday.
Wait, but it's on Friday, no?
Flowers from, oh.
Friday.
Never mind.
Oh, that's after. That's after SAU.
Let's get like, I don't know, like a box of like Ferrero Rochers.
Yeah. I was thinking like the.
Wait, okay,
Costco,
Wait,
that's like-
Shruti, if you have like a list of ideas of things to put in the basket, just send it to us. Actually, yeah, guys, just type something in
I was gonna say something.
I love making baskets.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So we're just looking for
Can't
something
go wrong
like
with
potentially
Ferrero
tennis.
I
In like a
love
shampoo bottle.
Yeah, that's something in like wine or something.
What's the cure?
It's a place you saw.
I was gonna sign up for it, so yeah.
Throw your ideas into, throw your ideas into Slack.
Yeah, and what's up?
Yeah,
What's the
so
budget?
everyone actually can do us a huge favor right now and actually scan the QR code and then sign up for a shift. That would be, again, really greatly appreciate it and help us with like our planning and scheduling. I mean, especially if you guys are already there at Western Regional, why not just get a bank shift really quick, sign up, do whatever. It'd be great. It'll also be like a lot of fun for those who are like still like on the edge of like whether or not they want to come to Western Regional or not. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I think the budget will be around like 100, 250 for BCC. We're not telling someone, but we're gonna get it.
Okay. What do you guys think for Salman?
Yeah, what should we get him?
For Salman.
He has probably done the most, like out of anybody. So.
Another basket.
Another basket? Okay. What should be in the basket? Just stop. Just stop.
Wait, we can get him a watch. Like a nice, like.
We know it. Get him up, right?
Yeah. I don't think you could.
You guys signing up right now? I want to see some amazing signups. Hold on.
It's like great.
Double check. Everyone's able to sign up. Wait, yeah, everyone's pulling up basically, right? Like,
Sorry, I meant like.
who's not able to pull up?
Okay, the last thing is that Dr. BC would like to thank us with a gift as well, but,
You would like us to.
he would like us to decide what our gift is. Cause originally he was gonna get us this like hoodie and we rejected it.
Who in the WhatsApp saw the link that you sent?
Wait,
It was so bad. It was so bad.
That's a home hoodie, low key, bro. Was he in the apartment with that?
Wait, it's in the Western. It's so bad.
I know, that's.
Yeah.
was the one to see.
Yeah, one thing though, the limitation.
How much that cost?
The
Yeah.
limitation
Oh,
of
wait.
the gift for us is that it has to be used, like quote unquote, like used at Western Regional. So the reason why he chose like hoodies is because he wanted us to all wear them. So like think of something that might be like.
How about new jackets? Like, and not a gray for the veterans.
Wait, because now we don't have to say it's fine if it's up.
Yeah. Honestly, that's.
We look like
Yeah.
that.
I don't have a thunder.
You know the style, Dan?
I have.
You really need help for these abstract sessions as well.
Let's think of like.
I'm always over here.
Wait, I mean,
How did you get everyone?
the first day abstract session was 3 p.m.
Oh, wait, should we get a wine?
Oh, wait, no, it's the big two.
Does everyone see it? Yeah, we really need people for the abstract sessions. Those are.
Okay, guys, 1 second. So for the MRAP gift, would you guys prefer just completely subsidizing a new jacket for everybody, or would you guys wanna do like a completely distinct gift?
What's the budget?
Would we?
Okay, theoretically, we should be able to cover jackets. It was gonna be jackets for everyone, so like, he has the funds for it.
So are we able to get a $250 back from Karaden and then buy dinner for everyone or something?
Yeah, that was our other idea. We
Yeah.
were gonna do like a nice dinner or something.
Or we can order food for everybody that volunteers at the conference.
But then what if people are doing like shifts and then like if someone is doing a morning shift and we're bringing the food for afternoon?
You can,
That's-
if you apply to like volunteer at the conference, then it's a big shift, so just use your big shift for the shift on Western Regional.
I'm not shipping on Thursday.
Okay, so do you guys want food or a jacket? Raise your hands for food. Okay. And raise your hands for a jacket
What about other gifts?
or something else.
Something else?
What about both? Food
Wait,
and
can I bring
jacket?
up what we do though?
Yeah, okay, just.
That's really religious things, dude. What the?
It wasn't like
This is so bad. I can get like UCI merch.
Okay, we can brainstorm this later. If you guys have ideas for what you want, put it into the group chat. But for now, we'll move on to basically what needs to be done in Western Regional. If you guys have to leave, you can leave at 5. But for now, we're gonna go over what needs to happen.
Really quick, does anyone have any pressing updates
for your
stuff? Yeah, because I saw you shared a.
Yeah, first of all, you should have got an email, but I made a 90 so if you ever do it, just put it in.
Anything else, guys?
This is related to what we're about to talk about, but if you notice on the scheduling sheet, the rows that are highlighted in yellow, Dr. Loftyport's requested that we need to have one MRAPper in each session, so if we make sure that we fill in those rows, that would be very much appreciated. Thank you, everyone.
Wait, Omi, so for that, if you're presenting, you can still be a volunteer?
So I just wrote, Rand and I wrote ourselves in because we're gonna be there regardless, in those rooms. But let's try to stick to like, if you're not presenting, let's have everyone else just be a general kind of moderator to help out with the actual moderator.
So if I present after, I should work in the morning and vice versa.
Ideally, you. That'll be perfect.
And just to clarify, for each of the abstract sessions, like each name here is going to be in a separate room, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to create gap shifts in this schedule in order to shift for Western?
Yes,
Yeah,
you are allowed to. We'll let you like get up.
Okay. Thanks.
so try to, I believe we only need 5, and then so 5 people will be like 1 person in each of the 5 rooms that we have, and then 1 person is just going to be generally like roaming around and like directing people to the correct session that they would like to go to. Okay, Ami, do you want to come up here so we can talk about?
Share your screen to like Jordan.
You all have.
We only need a guide for consolidating all of the master decks.
Okay, perfect. I think that's. So I think
Those are our Western.
We got that.
So, you can share this.
You're only one good. I prefer this. You can shove and switch with all.
And then all of the slides are here, but it's on, they have to request. Yeah.
Hello.
So.
Hey, you could, I mean.
Shakes my head.
Wait, that was terrible. Why did I click on that?
No, until Friday. I can't have a fundraiser if I
Hello, everyone. We have some exciting action items for anyone who's willing.
$1.
We listening? All right. Who has some extra bandwidth tonight to help our poor abstract committee make master slide decks?
We're gonna do this right now, actually. No, we're doing this right now.
Oh, we're doing this
Yeah,
right
we're doing
now.
this right now.
That's never
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll be making abstract slide decks. Basically, we have 10 sessions. Could we get 2 people assigned to each? Actually, all right, who can do session 1? I need a volunteer.
Yeah.
Session 1's done already, so session 1's done already.
You're allowed to draw.
Jordan,
Indeed.
Brian, thank you.
I'll do whatever session that I'm not presenting at, because I don't know what's happening. I don't think every single.
Oh, you're just making the slides.
I think you should explain the whole slide. I don't really want to.
All right, we'll start with that. So, basically, they've requested a master slide deck for each of the 10 rooms. There are 2 sessions, a morning session and an afternoon session, 5 in the morning, 5 in the afternoon. For each of these decks in this folder, which should be shared, each of these is one of the rooms. So you go into like admin ops, that's the first session, and you'll see all the presentations for that session. Basically, we are merging these slides together, adding section dividers in between each set of presentations. And just for a little like overview of how we're gonna do it, so you would open up one of them right now, and it's gonna be pretty simple. Open up the second one. Then, once you copy it over, make sure that you like copy with the same formatting. So normally it's just Control C, Control V. Gonna Command C. Yes. Command B. And like that, it should have kept all of the formatting, and that's really important. We're also gonna add a slide in between each one that's going to have like the title of the following abstract and the author or the presenter submitter who's responsible for the presentation. This can all be found on here in the abstract session list. This is the published list that we sent out to everyone. So in here, you're gonna find the same title. So for this case, I'm going over here and I'm going like, oh, this second one is interest in medication to cut back on alcohol intake. I would find it in here. I would find the presenter, Eden Saidi from USC, copy it over, and then take it over to that presentation, and that's what's going to be in between each of the slides. So it looks something like this, and then we're gonna input the title up here. Does that make sense for like how we're just merging them together, saving the format, adding section dividers?
Right now, yeah, but that day.
Is everyone good on what to do?
So we'll assign each table to be a different category. Since there's 10 different categories, we'll have, for example, Akil do Pete's and I think like Pete's global health, for example. We'll have one group do social disparities, and your group is going to consolidate the slides together, basically. And so we'll send this Google document right now,
Yeah,
and then
it's-
into the messenger, and then we'll let you guys know which committee to do or which subject to do. Should be pretty, yeah.
So just to like over explain, essentially like during the abstract sessions, if you go back to like a full list, every room will have like a different topic. So like for example, like in Paradise Cove, it'll be administrative and operations, and then the following abstracts will be presented, and those are the slides within the Google Drive that we just sent.
And it needs to be in this order.
It's really important that it stays in this order as well. So that one that I started editing is most likely not in the right order. But yeah.
And also make sure that you're looking at the bolded name within the abstract session. Because oftentimes the first author might not be the person that submitted, and the person that submitted the presentation is the person that's going to present.
Send this to the messenger, and then we'll start assigning the different groups. So, bye, Ryan. Yes.
Is there a specific like template or like way that you want the title and the name, or is it just like Arial font, like, or does it matter?
For the section dividers, is there a nice template that we have for like the slides?
I could go back to just like
Yeah,
the title site, yeah, it'll be.
No, for now, just put it in an area.
Just put it like really big and clear, yeah.
People is fine.
People is
Yeah,
fine.
yeah. Okay. So, are you able to send that to the thing really quick?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm sorry, I don't
you
wanna.
already
just
sent
wanna-
it.
Oh, you sent it? Okay, so we'll have this group of people to different sections.
I need to know what's up.
I can present it.
Yeah, so.
Okay, so, Amanda, you guys, you go to you, and then you guys will do admin, sorry.
Okay, wait, I'm trying to.
Oh, no,
I just wanted to ask you a question. That's a really good question. We actually looked at how ultrasound affects communication. Like certain kids, you might have wanted to recap the study. Yeah, but that's a good question. Why not actually?
What?
And then you, it's the joint, right, it's in the messenger, right?
So we can. But you should do
They
mass
might
out
actually have a good chance.
So they're not all going to be within the same folder. And you have to, but if that's personally
It's just.
do you know, it'll import with like preserved animations.
You go back and then.
And we'll like just right.
That's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, so-
Yeah, no, but that's, we have to adjust. This one is fine. I also already.
I feel like they're gonna go.
I said, oh, yeah.
You don't have to. Wait, look, I don't want you to. Let's take a It'll be good.
Fighting with
Yeah.
Okay, let's
You feeling bad about us? Oh, I feel good, bro.
So if you're gonna.
We're gonna have to edit. So.
So social.
I put the cash. Oh, look.
I also have
Don't wanna see that.
That's related.
Just put the finalized like master deck within the folder that you're working from.
Yeah, and then please put the word merged in the title too.
Oh, no,
I get it.
on the title side is on the title side.
Yeah.
Where do we put the master?
Oh, wait.
Nah, this week I'm chill.
Just leave it.
I don't have any, I have a test next Friday. I'm gonna go trade.
I got great ideas.
Okay, so we have to have it in this order.